We found a C5 Corvette abandoned in this yard for the last 11 years, and the whole car has been overtaken by what looks like a jungle. And on the interior, this is probably one of the moldiest cars we've ever had on this channel. And we thought that was the last of our problems until we opened the other door.
Oh my god, they're falling, ew. Okay, that's disgusting.
I don't know if we can even save this, but there's only one way to find out.
So we have found C1, C3, C4 Corvettes that we featured on the channel, but we've never found a C5 until now. We've been looking for a C5 for a long time, and the only one that we need to round out the collection of Corvettes on our channel is a C2, and that's still evading us. So maybe real quick, I'll say if you do have a C2 Corvette, email us here. It needs to be very dirty, it needs to be abandoned or a barn find. We'd love to come out and do it. That's the last Corvette that we're hunting. But that's not the focus of this video. The focus of this video is this C5 Corvette that has literally been consumed by all of these weeds and by Mother Nature herself.
Dude, I can't believe this is sitting like this. When I was growing up, this was like the Corvette. In the early 2000s, I love these cars. To see one sitting like this, I never really thought I would. This thing's buried and everything's growing around it. It looks crazy. Should we take a look inside? Let's see.
Oh boy,
It
stinks.
Wow.
You'd think that over time we would get used to these smells of these cars, but we never do. We never do. And we are wearing our respirators much more. We're trying to take care of our health because of all the comments that we've gotten from you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your concern. We are taking that precaution, and we will be wearing respirators pretty much the whole time we're working on the interior of this car because I don't want to die early, and neither does Mike.
No.
And Brent, well, he's usually chilling in the office editing, but he doesn't want to die either. So
Is this a T-top too?
Oh, it's glass.
no way.
This is a glass. Some kind of glass.
Why
Yeah.
is it so you can see through it?
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah.
You think it has like a reflective tint where you can't see from the
Yeah,
top, but you can see through
look, Brent. Yeah, you can remove that. That's gonna make it easier for us to clean the interior. That's awesome.
We are starting something brand new to the channel with this car specifically. We're gonna be taking it to Cleveland Power and Performance, which is a performance shop that does a lot of classic and new age muscle cars, and they make a ton of power, and they also do general restorations. And we're gonna have them put it on a lift, go over every inch of it, and then give us an estimate to see how much it would actually cost to get this thing back on the road. And if they think they can do it for a reasonable price, maybe we'll become Corvette owners, or if it's too expensive, then we'll be giving it right back to the owner and letting him figure out what he wants to do with it. Real quick, we actually had one of our youngest subscribers stop by the shop. His name is Logan. I'll put a picture right here. Logan and his family came all the way from like Philadelphia area and came all the way to meet me and then go to the Crawford Auto and Aviation Museum. And Logan, he details cars, his little Volkswagen Beetle that should be up here right now. He details it at home. He calls himself RJ, and he makes his mom and dad and sister be Brent and Mike. And at 5 years old, he's already such a great detailer, and by 10 years old, he'll know more than I'll ever know. But I just wanted to give him a quick shout out, and then also mention that it was funny because he thought Mike is very serious on camera for the most part, but Mike is a complete goof off the camera. And he asked me personally, he asked two questions. He goes, what does Mike drive? And I told him, oh, he's got a Volkswagen Scirocco, he's got a Volkswagen Eurovan, he's got
Jettas and
an Audi S4, yeah.
Yep.
So I told him all the cars that Mike had, and then he goes, he asked me, he goes, is Mike always that serious? And I go, no, Mike's never serious. He just, whenever the camera turns on, he tries to be very professional, which I appreciate. Anyway, shout out to Logan. Buddy, you're gonna be one of the greatest detailers the world's ever known. Keep hunting for barn find. Let us know if you ever find one, and we'll come out and we'll meet you and we'll detail barn find together. How about that?
The plane coming in.
Yeah, they've, there's been like 4 or 5 that's landed in the last couple.
You think they're gonna start clapping when they arrive? You got to Cleveland!
I don't think anyone claps when they get to Cleveland. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hook the winch up and pull it out to see what we're actually working with, because half of this thing's still covered by leaves.
Yep.
So while we pull the Corvette out, I want to ask the question in the video, so leave your answers in the comments below. You guys can see so far what condition this car is in, and a lot of people would probably be deterred from ever wanting to touch it or step foot inside of it. But just looking at it now, what do you think Cleveland Power and Performance is going to say later? Or what's your own opinion? Do you think this is something that could be back on the road one day? Or do you think this is a car that would probably be better served as parts? And also, if you're not subscribed to our channel, please take a second and hit that subscribe button. Let's see if we can get closer to 1.1 million subscribers. And now that you've subscribed, let's get back to the shop.
This thing is roached. This is one of the dirtiest cars that I have seen in quite a while. I don't know how long it was sitting outside, but as you can see, it has so much material growth and so much stuff just all over it. When I first joined WD, I never really thought I'd see a C5 Corvette in this condition. Grew up playing Gran Turismo and love these cars. I like C4 Corvettes. I think the body on these cars is just so much better, so much better. It embraces my childhood a little bit, so I really enjoy this car, and it's gonna be a ton of work to get this thing cleaned up. Before we get into the detail, I saw something that shocked me, and Brent hasn't seen it yet, so I want his live reaction on camera. You ready?
Oh gosh, yeah, I guess.
All right. So
What is
Brent,
it?
come over on this side, like right about yonder, okay?
Okay.
Let's see what's behind door number 2.
All right. Oh my God, dude.
Oh,
That's disgusting. They're falling, ew. Okay, that's disgusting.
well, we're gonna close this door and deal with that in a second.
Okay.
All right, with that many ants on the interior, I think the best plan of action is to grab a bug bomb and then try and kill all the ants that are on the inside of the vehicle. That way it's easier for us to vacuum them out, and we also don't fill our vacuum with live ants that we then have to try and dump outside into the garbage. Super lizard would be nice right now. We need a super lizard and maybe some chickens. Some chickens to pick up. Oh.
So really quickly before talking anymore, we're gonna vacuum all this up because they're trying to move their larvae into the car. And the quicker we take care of this now, the less we have to worry about that stuff later on.
Time to bug bomb the Corvette.
Hurry, 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 close it.
Maybe I should do it on the other side where the... it's okay. I think
It'll get there.
Now, to be completely honest, I have no idea how these got this messed up. If this car went off-roading before it ended up parked there, or it rained really hard and it got mud all over it, but they're in rough shape. With a little bit of work, I think that these can look brand new.
So the first thing we're gonna do is quickly vacuum everything off the exterior. That way we're not blowing it all over the shop and making it annoying to clean up later. Now let's see if we can make these wheels look brand new again, and if you know what product we're using on them, leave a comment down below and you tell me. before we forget, Mike had to climb through the back of the car just to open up the gas door, and we have to make sure to clean that out real good in case this car ever gets started again. Now before drying the car, we're going to do a full paint decontamination with iron remover and a clay pad on the buffer, which we normally wouldn't do to a regular car, but because this needs some severe work done to it, it's going to help us save a lot of time.
All right, under the hood of our 01 Corvette is the famous LS1. 5.7 liter V8. Making about 350 horsepower. This Corvette is the first Corvette to feature the LS1. Previously, the C4s had an LT1. I'm not sure what all the difference is. All I know is, man, is this motor popular. It has a derived following. People love this motor. But unfortunately, we don't have the keys to this car, so we won't be able to see that. I've never been able to drive a C5 Corvette, but I've always thought to buy one. And now the prices are coming down a little bit, so maybe one day.
Really quickly, Mike, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Obviously you can see this is the engine block here, and then it separates and there's another part here. So what is all
this?
Yeah.
So this is the intake system. It's actually a pretty great system. If you go to the front of the car, it has, these ducts are functional, and then here's the air box with your air filter in it to filter out the air. So it acts kind of like ram air, but it's not called ram air. It's a really great design actually, and makes the whole front of the car nice and smooth. All the air travels down here.
And this is an LS1. Do you know how many LSs are there?
Oh man, I think there's LS2, LS3, I know LS5. LS7's a big motor, and then LS9. I don't know the rest. I'm not a huge Chevrolet guy, but I know they made a lot of motors. If you guys love the LS motor too, let us know what's your favorite LS motor and why. There's good and bad to all motors. Which one's your favorite? I want to know. Moving on to the interior of the Corvette, I'm going to tell you guys about some things that I do really like and some things I don't like. One thing I do like are the seats, except they're out of this car because they're so disgusting. They're so covered in mold that there was no way I was going to sit on those. The next thing that I really like about this car is that it actually has a proper dashboard here that goes up to 200 miles per hour. I don't know if you guys remember the older videos that we did with the 70s Vettes, but they were down at 85 miles an hour, which is ridiculous. 200 miles per hour is where it's at. Something else that I really do think is cool is actually this little traction, I think it's a traction control button. It says active handling, and it's got a little Corvette on it doing a little skid. And then also we have sport and performance mode in this car. Pretty high tech for back then, I suppose. Something I don't like about this car, I mean, this is kind of classic 90s, early 2000s Chevrolet, but all the bubble buttons is what I'm going to call them because they look so bubbly. I think they look pretty dated, even considering we work on a lot of cars from the 80s. And also, I have no idea what's going on here, but this steering wheel, I think it's from sitting outside and just getting hot, getting cold, getting hot, getting cold. It's like really sticky. Whatever material this is made out of is failing like crazy. I don't know if we're gonna be able to clean this up at all, or if we're gonna be basically trying to remove this coating that's on here, but it's like every time I touch it, it's leaving prints. I don't know if you can even see that on camera. The last thing that I hate actually about this car, I don't care who you are, what you say, this is hideous. This shift knob must be the ugliest shift knob I've ever seen. But with all that said, I need to get to work. This thing needs a lot of cleaning with all this mold. I need to get my mask back on, so let's get to it.
So the first thing we did with the seats out was vacuum all the floors up, and then we moved on to probably what I think was the most satisfying part of the whole interior, but you guys can make that call. And I thought this was kind of funny, and you guys would like to see the lengths we go through to make these videos that I normally don't show in the videos, but here's Mike in the trunk, and this car was not taking any power through the battery, so that means in order to open the trunk up, he had to hop in through the back, and he was laying back there trying to open it up. And from our point of view, it was pretty funny to watch, and I think that Mike deserves a lot more credit than he probably gets, because he does a lot of hard laborious work on these videos for us. So if you guys have made it to this point, leave a nice comment for Mike, because I'm sure he's gonna love reading all of them. He really does so much work for WD and for you guys that you'll never even see on video. Now for the whole interior, RJ ended up being sick. He actually caught food poisoning while we were filming this video. So Mike and I tackled this ourselves, and you're gonna find a recurring theme on how we cleaned it. First we used Puro to spray everything down and wiped it away with a microfiber towel. Then we reapplied Puro and used a steamer to kill all the mold and bacteria and wiped it away again. And wait till you see how amazing the final results on every single piece was. I was even mind-blowing while doing it. Now it's time to pull out the extractor. We're going to use our extractor soap with a drill brush and get this carpet all clean again. And same thing for the floor mats, but I have to say, you'd think with Corvette, maybe they would have done something a little bit more customized and not so plain. Or maybe that's just my opinion, I don't know. And now is the fun part. We're going to finish up the detail and then we're going to take it over and see if this thing is worth buying or parting out.